How many grams of protein should you be consuming? Now, this is a very common question, and it's a very common one that people often get wrong. Let me explain. First of all, I'm going to talk about me right now, at this moment in time, and for the past, let's say, since 2016. So it's the best part of what, 5, 6, 7 years? Yeah, about 7 years. I have not had more than 100, maybe top end 150 grams of protein. That's it. Now, another thing I will note as well, when I competed, the last time I was on stage, when I mean on stage, I say that in the sense where that's my body fat was at its lowest. So I was on stage at around about 90-ish kilo, something like that. And I now hover around 93. I'm still fairly lean. So even now, I'm going to go out and say I've probably got more muscle mass on me now than I did have when I was competing. And I can prove it through pictures. So I know 150 grams of protein, and I have grown, not a lot. I'm not saying I've grown a lot, but I've grown a little bit over the space of the last 7 years. Now, how many grams of protein should you guys be having? Let me explain to you how I used to do it. Back in the days, way back in the days, I've never been a very heavy guy, so I don't know the crazy amounts of protein that some guys are having. But I've always hovered around 95 to 100 kilo. Now, if we break that down into pounds, it's 220 pounds. I was always reading the Flex magazines, and it always said 1.5 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So I thought, okay, if I'm around 200 pounds, if I'm having 300 grams of protein, then I should be growing. That's what I was thinking. So I went for 300 grams. That was my aim. 300 grams of protein, let's go out for it. It was way too much for me. Way too much. First of all, I just couldn't consume the amount of protein. And I don't like shakes. I'm not a big advocate of shakes. I like to get my protein from Whole Foods. But even still, I was having 150 grams from Whole Foods and I was having 100 grams from shakes. It was still way too much. I was unable to do it. It was really difficult for me to try to get 300 grams of protein is a hell of a lot of protein. But I tried it for a while and just got nothing but bloated off it. So I thought, let me be a little bit more sensible here. Let's convert this into kilograms. So a kilogram is 100 kilo. I thought, I'll tell you what, let's double that amount. Let's double 2 grams of protein per 1 kilogram of body weight. Bear in mind, let me just say one thing. I've always been fairly lean. I have never in my life, I would like to say this, ever exceeded 20% body fat. I don't feel I ever have. I've always been able to see the top portion of my abs. Even when I was powerlifting, I was at my heaviest at 102 kilo. I don't believe I ever went above 20% body fat. I might have hit 15 a few times, maybe 17 a few times, but I definitely don't believe I've ever exceeded that. So fairly lean muscle mass on a guy like me, 5'11", not 6 foot, but it is what it is, guys. Can't always ask for everything. To be honest with you, I've never really been bothered about it. As long as you're big enough and you stand tall enough, it's good enough. When you put some trainers on, we're all 6 foot. So that was the thing for me. 200 grams of protein. I thought, let me try this, 200 grams of protein. And that was the sweet spot for me. 200 grams of protein. I was strong. I was big. I was muscular. I was lean. Everything just worked. My digestive system was in check. My skin was good. Everything was nice. My nails were growing. When you eat a lot of protein, your nails grow very rapidly. I don't know about hair because I don't have any. And that's another story. It's got nothing to do with gear. And I'll explain later in another video why it has nothing to do with gear. If you're prone to male pattern baldness, then you're going to be bald regardless. Anyway, back to protein. So 200 grams of protein was a sweet spot for me. 2 grams per kilogram of body weight, lean-ish kind of body weight. So that is a good gauge for most guys out there. If they're asking the question, that is the answer that I would say. Now, what happened to me was I competed 200 grams of protein all the way through. I was doing a classic physique, as it's called now, but them days it was called classic bodybuilding. I needed to lose a little bit more weight. I had to drop weight, I had to drop my protein because everything else was dropped anyway. The fats were out, the carbs were out. I thought, I've only got protein left in my system. I need to drop protein. And I'm going to tell you this now. I dropped to 100 grams of protein for a week. It was almost impossible for me to lose muscle mass. I was growing. The last week of the show, I was growing. I couldn't believe it. I'm thinking, what is going on here? I'm supposed to be hitting weight over here. It would not shift. So I thought, okay, maybe I can just survive on less protein. So you try it, don't you? So after the show, I thought, let me try 150 grams of protein. Let's see what happens. By the way, I won the show. See what happens. Tried 150 grams of protein, and my muscle mass went nowhere. It stayed. I thought, so all this time... Look, guys, first of all, let me just explain another thing as well. I should have started with this. I am not a big eater. I do not like eating. I don't see food as anything of desire. I have zero gluttonous desires for food. It does nothing for me. I don't like the feeling of being stuffed. Every time I'm eating a meal, if you guys are my friends and you go out with me, I'm always like, I've had enough. And you'll always look at my plate and it's never piled up. It's never full. I don't eat too... I hate buffets. You know why? Because I don't get my money's worth in buffets. Because I don't eat anything. I'll pick one or two things and I'm done when it comes to buffets. When I eat out with my friends, I'm eating the starters and I nibble at the mains and that is it. I'm just not a big eater. It doesn't do nothing for me. What I do like about going out with your friends and eating is the social element of it. And I think that's what it should be. It should be you with your friends, your family, your loved ones, birthday parties, weddings, whatever. The social element is nice. Go out, mingle, chill, relax, see people. That's all food is for me. That is it. To actually sit there and look at some food and look at it and think, I really want to eat that. Every time I've ever thought that, if I have ever thought that, sometimes like, for example, when the first time I went to America, I want to go to Cheesecake Factory. I used to see it on YouTube all the time. I want to go here. I want to go to IHOP. I want to go to Denny's. I see all the bodybuilders eating at Denny's. And then when you sit there and you go there and you sit there and you think, oh, shit, is that it? Is that all it is? Krispy Kreme donuts. I really want some donuts. And you're waiting and you're dieting all 6 weeks or whatever. And you eventually go and have these donuts. You think, is that it? Is that all it is? So I'm not a big eater. Now, when I was eating less protein, I felt amazing. I thought, yes, I can get away with eating 1-2 meals a day, and I'm still holding my muscle mass. That's great, no issue. Let me try push this even further, and this is exactly what I did with steroids as well. Exactly what I did with steroids. This is how I came about my TRT stack. Other than that, obviously, I went to America, flew out there, met the right TRT guys, spoke to the experts in this field, the experts in this medical profession, not the doctors in the UK, the experts in the TRT field, spoke to those guys. That's how I got prescribed that TRT, and I know exactly what to do and how to take it. And I can also show you guys how to take it. Link is in the description. TRT protocol, guys. You need to be buying it. And if you've made it this far into the video, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow out here and comment down below. And we're back to the video. So at the same time, I was reducing my steroid stack. My TRT, I went up to TRT dose and I was going lower and lower and lower. Every other 2 to 3 weeks, I was reducing the amount and did exactly the same with food. I thought, let me see if this works. Cut the carbs out, kept them to a minimal, cut the fats out, cut the protein out, right the way down to 100 grams of protein. That's decent enough for me. That's 2 large meals of protein. That's all it is. 50 grams in each meal. That was all I was having. And I thought, let me see if this works. And guess what? 7 years later, I'm still the same size. My muscle mass is thereabouts the same, if not more. It's definitely not shrunk. I've definitely not shrunk in the 7 years. I've probably got bigger. If I haven't got bigger, I'm exactly the same as I was when I was competing. So 100 grams of protein I've been having for the past 7 years. Never really exceeded. And to be honest with you guys, I never really count it. Here's my thing. I'm guessing it's 100. If I worked it out a few times, it's about 100 grams of protein. Now, when I am on how can I say this? Like, I'm on a mission sometimes. Sometimes I'm on a mission, I'm like, right, I want to get into my training. Right now, I'm cruising. I'm on the cruise flex right now. But when I want to get into my training, I'm having 250 grams of protein, 250 grams of carbohydrates, and 250 grams of fats. Yes, that is my macros. When I'm going 100%, those are my macros. And I need that kind of fuel in me. I do go up to 250 grams of protein for that small period of time. Why? Because I'm just exerting myself more. I'm lifting heavier, doing more cardio out and about, especially when I'm in a hot country. You're just walking around a lot more, burning more energy, everything's working. You're doing a lot of other extra curriculum activities as well, a lot more than what you would do normally, so you need the fuel. And that is my macros, what I kind of live by. But other than that, right now, when I'm in cruise control, it's 100 grams of protein. Don't need to overdo it. Don't need to stress about it. You will not lose muscle. I was watching a bodybuilder the other day, Nick Trigili. I don't know if you guys follow him. He's got a good YouTube channel. Just talks smack. Pretty much same as what I do, but he's doing it. Been doing it a long time, and he was a professional bodybuilder, or is, however you want to say it. And he mentioned that he was 300 pounds and he tried for years to lose muscle. Impossible. Couldn't do it. Jay Cutler, still a very big dude. Dennis James, very, very big guy. Same again with him. He's mentioned it as well. When you are big, when you have real solid muscle, not this new inflated muscle with doing cables, attachment, lat pull downs, and these funky cable behind curls, anything that you build muscle with that's not hard and not dense, then I believe you will lose muscle. That muscle will deflate when you come off the insulin, the GH, the gear, and you drop the calories and you drop the proteins and you drop the fats, the muscle will deflate. But when you've got solid muscle like this, it ain't going nowhere, bro. It ain't going nowhere. So stop obsessing over protein. Sorry for being a bit mumble jumbled in this video. I'm just going to break it down for you again. If you are trying to grow, go for 2 grams per kilogram. So 100 kilogram male should aim for 200 grams of protein. And if you are just trying to maintain like me, 1 gram of protein for 1 kilogram of body weight. So for me, I'm like 93 at the minute. 100's okay. You got to go over. Let's round it up to 100. 100's fine. And if you are a machine like me, when I'm in the zone, I'm going to be in the zone pretty soon because I've got a few holidays coming up. I've got a few promotional things coming up. I need to get in the best shape of my life again. I need to go full, pedal to the metal, as they call it. Then I will be taking 200 grams of protein, 250 grams of protein. I'm a big fats guy, 250 grams of fats, and same with carbs. I will be doing 250 grams of carbs as well. I'm going to explain in another video how important fats are and why they are my preferred source of energy over carbohydrates and proteins. If I was to only eat one thing, it would be fats. Fats are just amazing. They taste the best as well. Let's be honest. They taste the best and they don't make you fat. They give you energy, and guess what else they do? Great for testosterone. Hopefully this video gave you guys some value. Comment down below, like the video, and please subscribe. We're trying to grow out here.